things happen to you in your early 20s and it's hard. And I'm starting to realize, I think, the way that I feel about myself physically isn't about the way that I look physically. It is about the way that I feel about myself as a whole. I feel so bald. I hate doing my hair right now. So I'm gonna have to edit this and be like, wow, so bald. There's not like, okay, my posture, number one. There's not a fun way to start this video. I have been hyper focused on my appearance lately. Ooh, wow. Yeah, and it's not in a good way. And being this aware of how you look in general is never a good thing. I have just become extremely self-conscious. So I've been having some thought experiments. So none of this video is researched. This is stuff that I have just noticed in the day-to-day. Extremely unrealistic beauty standards are resurfacing, and I'm talking about like being so thin. You know how a couple years ago, God, okay, no, not a couple years ago, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, the beauty standard was very hourglass, bringing back the thick thighs, bringing back the behind, and it was never like, we never really got over like the whole fat phobia thing. But as a society, we became a lot more geared towards body positivity. This is whenever all the girl boss stuff was going on too, and it's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore at all. Actually, now we're seeing a huge resurface of ED culture. Everything that started going on as soon as the celebrities started doing Not Much Ozempic. There is an evil, conniving voice in my head that is like having me just look in the mirror for too long. I am so frustrated and I'm angry because while I know someone having a smaller waist than me doesn't mean that they have a greater value than me, it's not looking good. And I understand that if I can't look at other women without comparing myself to them, I just need to I need to turn off my fucking phone. And I do, and I try. My weight has fluctuated a lot. I've been bigger, I've been smaller. I have had really bad acne. I've done Accutane, I've gotten rid of my acne. I have had 12 different haircuts and colors. And somewhere along then to now, I got to this point with myself where I am just like, I don't like the way that I look. I don't know if I blame myself. I don't know if I blame society that's upset about it because I used to like the way that I look. I used to think that I was pretty. Here's the frustrating thing about this feeling, and this is sort of this is the biggest point that I'm trying to make in this video. Whenever you try to express this feeling about yourself, this self-consciousness that you have, this insecurity that you have, people will tell you, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. Don't let anyone make you think that. That's not why I'm talking about it. I'm not compliment fishing. I have a boyfriend who loves me. You know how often he tells me I'm pretty? All the time. My mom tells me I'm pretty. My friends tell me I'm pretty. It's not about other people thinking I'm pretty. I don't care. I don't care if other people think I'm pretty. I want to think I'm pretty. I want to like looking at myself. I want to be confident because whenever I was more confident, I was going out and wearing what I wanted. I was taking better care of myself. I don't want someone to say, you are so pretty. I just want someone to say, I know how you feel. I just want someone to say, I too have felt this feeling. Like, I know what it feels like to be this painstakingly down on yourself. And I'm not asking for someone to fix my problem because I'm figuring it out. I just want to feel like there is a freedom to express myself. And I don't mean like physically express myself. I mean emotionally express myself. I want to express my emotions freely. I think whenever we picked up the whole pick me girl thing, it made less room for some feminine expression. As women, I feel like we already have so much pressure on us to find this perfect middle ground of self-expression. Be confident, but not too confident. If you're too far on either side of this chart of expression, which is a fable, by the way, it's not real, then you're not feminist enough. I just realized I sound really nasally. I might have a little bit of a cold. I think another layer to this is, as women, whenever we don't feel good about something about ourselves that isn't inherently our fault, something genetic, like an asymmetrical face, which I'm not listing anything as a negative trait. These are just examples. We feel this pressure not to change anything about ourselves that we dislike because it would be disrespectful to our ancestry. And as women, we can't do that. We have to love ourselves perfectly the way that we are. We are not allowed to be insecure. But at the same time, we must be hyper aware of the way that we look and how we present because it's how we gain respect. So for a long time, we can walk around and try to like ignore the thing that we are so insecure about and look at it every day and be like, I wish I could change this thing, and maybe we have the resources to change that thing. And I'm not talking about procedures, although that is included in this conversation. I'm talking about whenever we disregard our desires to express ourselves differently, we can begin to feel badly about ourselves. And it's the same thing whenever you bottle up a feeling for a long time and then it blows up one day. And then you're like, oh my gosh, why did that happen? Maybe because you've been ignoring it for a really, really, really long time. Let's say you wanted to go to the gym forever. You wanted to change your body in that way forever and get stronger forever. And I'm not saying you have like an ideal body type. You just want to have your best body. But whenever you do that, there is also this pressure to not be so caught up in the way that you look. Like, oh, you can't get buff. You can't get buff because it's not feminine. Or you can't get a nose job because your bloodline would be disappointed in you. The more that I thought about these things, the more I was like, oh, there's not a right answer. There is not a wrong or right answer whenever it comes to self-expression. All of these values are completely different. If it is more important to you to honor your heritage than it is for you to like the way that you look in a photo, then you're probably not going to get a nose job. But if it affects you so deeply to look at your nose in a photo and it just consumes you, this insecurity drives the way that you live, then you might be more partial to getting a nose job. Neither person deserves to be judged, by the way, for their choice. Or maybe you're just someone who's like, yeah, I mean, I don't like my nose, but I don't want it to be that important to me. I want to get over it. And then you do get over it, and that's fine. There is nothing wrong with the way that a person decides to handle an insecurity of theirs, a physical insecurity of theirs. Of course, you have to think of like balance with the BBL reversal effect going on. It's like, okay, maybe be careful about what you decide to do. And then some people are just like so bitter because they are so frugal and they never do anything nice for themselves. And I'm talking about like a good haircut. And then they're mean to people who have good haircuts because they never went and got themselves a good haircut. Like, girl, you can get a good haircut. There's a balance whenever it comes to how much you feed yourself in a physical aspect, because obviously this isn't the most important part of who you are. The way that you look is not the most important part of who you are, but it has an effect on you. Things happen to you in your early 20s and it's hard. And I'm starting to realize, I think, the way that I feel about myself physically isn't about the way that I look physically. It is about the way that I feel about myself as a whole. I'm projecting. I am very ashamed of the things that I'm going through mentally and the choices that I feel like are on me right now. So I'm thinking, what's easier to worry about? The implications of my current actions on my future career or my tummy? What feels more attainable right now? A better skincare regimen or moving somewhere where maybe I'm gonna feel like I fit in? I am definitely in a fight with sort of just accepting myself. Yes, on a physical level, but more on a whole scale. And that is what every 21-year-old girl is going through. All young women feel this way at some point. And I feel like I'm paying generational prices for this. We've depended on how we look and how we are perceived as a way to survive. We had to get married and we had to be supported because we could not do things ourselves. And I think that the way that I'm placing focus on my physical body whenever I am actually so just worried about my physical world, not me, but the life that I am creating, I think that those aren't unrelated. Does knowing that make me feel any better about what I'm going through? Not much. But I do think the voice in my head, the good one, needs to be a little bit louder, needs to be a little bit stronger, because every time I look in the mirror and I'm like, I get an attitude with myself about my genetics, or I look at another woman and I get angry that I think she's more attractive than I am, which is something that I am ashamed about, by the way. I don't think I'm a bad person just because I'm dealing with some hard feelings. I do think whenever you feel insecure, you should look at the bigger picture of what you have going on. I tend to get into this cycle of I feel this way because 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 I feel this way. Feelings could be related to something much greater than you think they are. And circling back to the whole feminism thing, piece of advice that I want to slip in here. Anytime I feel like a decision or an emotion is very complex, I ask myself what I would do or how I would feel if I was a man. And sometimes that helps. I do think if I was a man, I would have done different things by now because I think I'd be way less afraid. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not a man and I never will be. So I don't get to say things like that. I just mean it can be helpful to look at your life from a different perspective. I've been rambling for half an hour and I hope that it's good. Like, I hope I can use it. Like, I hope I can make some sense out of it. Girl, I'm PMSing really bad. I would apologize for this week's video feeling so poor, but I'm not apologizing because I can't give the same energy all the time because I'm a human. I love you so much still. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye. You know what's awful is if this video makes no sense, I'm still gonna have to edit it and upload it because it's all that I have.